Hi, I'm Michael Price, and this is a video version of a post from my Psychology Today blog, From Darwin to Eternity. The title of this post is, What Religion is Really All About. Now, as an evolutionary psychologist who's only fairly recently started really focusing on religion, I've been impressed by what a difficult topic religion actually is. Religious systems are complex, cross-culturally diverse, and hard to define. Religions vary in whether they explicitly evoke a concept of God or gods, for instance, and religious social systems often swallow up other kinds of social systems that are not themselves inherently religious. For example, systems of morality, ritual, philosophy, and community can get tangled up with religion in some societies, but exist independently of religion in others. So it can be challenging to identify the essence of religion cross-culturally. What's unique about the kind of worldview we consider religious, and what sets it apart from non-religious worldviews? Adding to all this confusion are concepts like spirituality, which can seem very similar to religiosity in some, but not all, respects. Well, despite the complexity of religion, I think there's one way of conceptualizing it that does a particularly good job of capturing its essence. To describe this concept, I'll use the term existential theory of mind. Now, this specific term was coined by psychologist Jesse Bering, but as a general concept, existential theory of mind has been researched by many evolutionary and cognitive psychologists of religion. To understand existential theory of mind, we should first clarify the meaning of regular theory of mind. Now, technically speaking, theory of mind refers to an ability to form second-order mental representations. But for our purposes, we can just think of theory of mind as the cognitive system that humans typically use to engage in social interactions with other people. By engaging your theory of mind when you interact with another person, you're able to attribute human mental states, such as thoughts, emotions, and intentions, to that person. It's adaptive to engage your theory of mind when interacting with another person because your theory will usually be correct. The other person usually will, in fact, have a normal human mind. So if you assume they do have such a mind, generally you'll be able to have a more successful social interaction than you would if you assumed they had no mind, say, or some kind of non-human mind. And by the same token, engaging your theory of mind can be a highly unproductive way of interacting with an entity that lacks a human mind. If you're struggling to learn how to play the guitar, for example, you won't help matters much by becoming angry at the guitar for not making your song sound better, or by begging it to behave like a more cooperative musical collaborator. So now that we've clarified what theory of mind is, what do we mean by existential theory of mind? Well, the idea of existential theory of mind is that people tend to engage their theory of mind in interactions not just with other people, but with existence in general. That is, humans seem naturally inclined to perceive their lives as these ongoing interactions with some kind of transcendent mind or minds that, at least in some respects, seems human-like. And across cultures, this transcendent mind-like power may be conceptualized as an explicitly specified god or gods, or in more abstract terms, such as a universal spirit, or karma, or the force. When people engage in existential theory of mind, they seem to be expanding the focus of their regular theory of mind to include not just other people, but the universe in general. They perceive a universal mind which seems to emanate from outside the ordinary world experienced by humans and which seems stronger than any power emanating from within this world. So I think existential theory of mind is a useful way to conceptualize the essence of religion because it seems like a good description of the mental processes that underlie what we would identify as religiosity cross-culturally. Further, existential theory of mind seems to dissolve the barriers not just between different cultural manifestations of religiosity, but between the concepts of religiosity and spirituality. Spirituality, just like religiosity, is in essence a tendency to engage in existential theory of mind. And I've collected some data that support this view of the equivalency between religiosity and spirituality, and once I publish those studies, I'll say more about them. So to conclude, in this post, hopefully I've clarified the meaning of both theory of mind and existential theory of mind, and established why existential theory of mind is a good candidate to be considered the essence of religiosity and spirituality cross-culturally. But even if we do see existential theory of mind as a reorientation of regular theory of mind, away from a normal social context and towards the universe in general, this view raises some new questions. The primary question it raises for me, as an evolutionary psychologist, is why would evolution have produced a human nature that seems so predisposed towards existential theory of mind? Is the tendency towards existential theory of mind simply an accidental byproduct of our theory of mind adaptations, or does existential theory of mind have some adaptive function in its own right? Now, this question has already received considerable attention from evolutionary and cognitive psychologists, but in my view, it hasn't been conclusively answered. I'm currently addressing it in some new research of my own, which I'll also have more to say about in future posts. So until then, thanks for watching and see you soon.